Imagine a coastal town in Italy, one of those cute little towns that still tourists haven't discovered yet. There are some beautiful pastel-colored houses on the seaside, and in one of those houses there is a shop. In this shop there is a lady painting shells with incredible care. She's painting these shells, she's putting them on the table, like a private constellation. One day, something happens. She's tired of it. She takes all the shells and she throws them in the wind. The shells go around, they roll on the cobblestones, they break in thousands of pieces. Perché nemmeno da vecchi si sa cosa faremo da grandi. Because even when we are old, we don't know what we are going to do when we grow up. You can open your eyes. This was an image coming from a song by Lucio Corsi. Lucio Corsi is an Italian songwriter that you might have heard if you watched the last Eurovision. But as old school fans, I like to say, I knew him before. Not to show any type of superiority, but because I want to tell you a story that happened before that. So it was 2021. I was living in Trieste, then Torino, then Paris, and I was studying physics of complex systems. And you might think, do physicists ever study anything simple? No. But complex systems is a subject that studies when systems have many small parts that interact with each other and they create something unexpected. Imagine birds. If you look at one bird, it's flying on its own, doing its own thing. But if you look at a flock of birds, then you see mesmerizing shapes in the sky that you would not expect. And that's a complex system. And I was studying this kind of thing, and it was very interesting, but I was still confused. What will I do when I grow up? Then I started a PhD, and I got interested in online social interactions. So let me ask you a question. Who of you is on social media? Who of you has ever seen anyone being angry on social media? Basically everyone. So you might also have heard of a phenomenon called polarization. So polarization is when people from two different political parties are angry at each other. And people say that social media amplify this phenomenon, which is sometimes true, but partially, I would say, because I want to tell you that there is also a type of polarization which is not too bad. Let me give you an explanation about that. So imagine people as birds. So there is a situation where birds divide into flocks and they are enemies with the others. They don't interact, they fight, but they never mix. That's called high issue alignment. In terms of humans, it would be the case where the two political parties have opinions always aligned to their party. So if I'm in a party, I agree on economics, climate, even on the recipes I have to cook. And that's quite predictable and it's quite rigid. So in this case, there is never a real conversation between the groups. There is also something called low issue alignment. In terms of birds, you would see the two flocks sometimes mixing. In terms of humans, you would see people that agree on something and disagree on something else. And I think that's healthier, and that's what we should have more. And interestingly, you can study this with mathematics and physics. You can study who's friends with who, was angry at whom, how opinions align, and that's very, very interesting, at least for me. So I told you about the old lady, I told you about Lucio Corsi, about people being angry online, about what I was doing. So I told you a lot of things, and you might think, oh, these are very unrelated things if you look at them separately, but they kind of form a complex system, right? And as you could see, I kept some of the shells, and I did throw the others. Some landed in unexpected ways, but still, we don't know what we are going to do when we grow up. Thanks.